you're gonna have to excuse the dodgy camera holding on this video. I still can't edit the videos properly, so yeah, I'll do it the best I can. But it's not that I came to show you. It's another one. It's a boat that's clearly been abandoned. I'm talking a little bit while I'm away from it because I'm looking at it and I'm wondering, you know, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that somebody could be asleep in the front of it, and if I start walking over going and this and this and this, so I'm not going to get on it, but I am going to go explain what I think has happened. So just over here, and you can tell if you go a few days in a row how it seems to unfold. So there's bits of it in the water. You can see like the forward hatch down there. I don't know if you can see. I'll just point out that is a monster. I'm not drinking Heineken in the morning today, at least. I'm joking. Didn't need to say that, did I? Can't edit it out. Bonjour, ça va? But yeah. That's one of two. I'll go back to it in a second. Just some people are walking past, making a lot of noise. And you've got another little one here. For sure that's an eagle. I don't want to say it in case anyone's got one, but I just always think the eagles pretty ugly. Anyway, back over to the one I was showing you. So the shame with it is, you see this all the time. Generally, you wonder what it was like when it first ended up here, because the deck generally is in better condition than the one I had before, I think, or even the one I've got now. The one that, if you've watched this before, the one that you're aware of, not the new little one I've acquired. But yeah, I've bought a boat probably in worse condition in the past, the one that most of this channel's been about, and I'd imagine this was probably in better condition before it's, you know, being put here because it's been abandoned. And then from there, you know, it's free pickings, I think. I'm not sure, you know, it's me, and I'll do some stuff that I don't always feel comfortable with, taking bits off boats. I'm not sure I'd feel comfortable jumping on there now. I could do with a tiller. I ain't got one on the little boat, so you know, there's a tiller there hanging around doing nothing. And I came yesterday and there was no compass, because I remember looking and the little boat didn't have a compass, but that's now gone too. But generally, as I say, I'm not going to get on. Shall I get on? No, I won't get on, but shall I? I know you're watching thinking, go and just do it, but it's just my luck. I'll hop on and someone will pop out, and I could be doing without that, especially if I've got to come put a boat here. I don't think there's anyone on it. But yeah, bits have ended up in the water. There's going to be another video showing you all the rubbish, and what is a bit surprising is I don't think it's a case of people have come and sat on it on a night time or anything, because if they had, you'd imagine there'd be rubbish anywhere. You can see like a cigarette butt that still has the paper attached, so we all know what that means. And I'll stop moving around so I don't make everyone dizzy. But what I always find, and I've spoke to a guy about this, and it's something I'll talk to you about in another episode, people generally don't take the things that are worth stuff off. Like when that goes to the scrap, it will end up just going like that, you know. Okay, maybe because this side's easy access, or maybe they've just banged off, but the stanchion I'm saying the wrong word. The poles that the running rigging go on, they're not there, but you know, over the other side, 1, 2, 3, and even just them bases, one of them would set you back. Let's not drop the phone in the water. A fair old bit of money. So if you know, you can be looking at even used 20, 40. On the other side, you've got 60, 80, 100. That on the bow, you know, I think that's broke. You probably wouldn't bother with it, but if we come around here, anchor roller on the front, that'd fit as well to, you know, quite a few different types of boat. And if you could potentially even cut it to the right shape if you needed to. 2 cleats on the front, one's broke, one's alright. A mast, you know, this exists a lot in the UK, like boat breakers and stuff, but here not so much. The rigging size I needed for my boat, that's the same one. When I was trying to find a smaller one and I couldn't, I've took it off the running rigging, but you know, they're expensive. The I know what they're called, and I forgot the word. Even before boats, turnbuckles. They're expensive each, especially the marine ones. You know, used again. Let's just say 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20. Cleat as well, where it's tied on. Let's go back around. Apologies again for how badly this video is edited. And then even the attachments where the rigging runs through, I imagine the ones on the inside are there too. Now if we look in the cockpit, the little hatches, the little clips there and there and there and there that keep them doors closed, you'd pay €10 happily for some of them. These, they'd set you back a lot of money. They are really expensive, and I could do with 2 of them. Slightly different ones on the back, again, money. I can't really see inside without getting on, but this would have been a good boat. Honestly, that probably, if there was 2 in the same condition and I was choosing between that and a lower that I have, that would probably win. I've said loads of times, like, it's quite handy to have the toilet there if you can just see through the hatch rather than in the front. Size wise, between 29 and 30 I reckon. It's hard to tell if it's not maybe a little bit bigger. I'm normally quite good at telling what the type of boat is, but on this one I don't know. But a decent inside space, and it's a shame that, you know, people aren't doing more about it, because there's people on the lookout for boats, and this is what ends up happening to them for the sake of probably not too dissimilar to my own situation, and then get off and leave it somewhere, and then it wouldn't have looked like this at the point it got abandoned. Like, the boom was probably still on it. We don't know about sails, could have broke, maybe it was in a storm, who knows, but there's still a lot of value on it in parts. So I really want to go inside. While I'm here too, I'm going to go ask if this is if it's game over, because that'd be super useful with a little outboard bracket on. and I could leave it here, it would be fine. It would actually save me money going to and from places. If I had a little bit of boat work, for example in Marseille, I could fly across in that. I know I need to concentrate on what I've got, but it's small. It wouldn't. I know someone who's got a 8 or 9 horsepower outboard motor that needs just a bit of work doing to it, and then voila, you'd have a nice little boat taxi. But yeah, that one really is a shame. I can see the interior from here, and it's not even like the interior's in looks terrible. Climb up on this wall and drop my phone in the water. Yeah, it generally looks alright inside. Probably someone sleeping in there. Hatch is actually inside too. Anyway, yeah, this is what happens to abandoned boats, and a good reason why if I was to leave mine here and not be present for a while, that could very well become the case. And they're not hard to get into boats, so but yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. Might start putting videos like this. Sometimes I'm doing something and it could just be a little 10-minute video, and I may as well get it on. I'll do a tour and show you all the abandoned boats that broke in and around the areas I've been. That one's a shame. There's people living on, 23-foot boats just for the sake of it, for somewhere to sleep. And yeah, it's a shame there's not a bit more going on. As I say, the amount of money you could strip off it before inevitably it'll end up in the port. And I've been talking to a guy about it. He's gonna speak to some guys, because we both kind of agreed. We were both on about the same thing, because where I was in Portmew, there's lots of abandoned boats there, and a lot of the time it's the transportation cost, and I will have to do a bit more research on this, but I was told you can recycle the boat for free, and it would be quite an interesting thing, because if there's a lot that get given to the recycling people just because somebody didn't want to pay the cost of taking it or whatever. And if you remember, I did a tour around a Dufour, a Dufour 2800, and it was really nice inside. Still a bit annoyed about that, but the guy had contacted the port and said, can you send it to the people to scrap? And because the guy he just didn't want to give it to someone, and for some reason he said he would rather scrap it, or he wants to sell it for 9,000. But on the day he called the port to tell them, yeah, just to the people, but he didn't necessarily want to pay. But as I say, it's a case of transportation, and it just doesn't exist on a big scale around here, and it's a shame, because if it did, there'd probably be quite a bit of money in it. Even off that one, if you had a decent, it wouldn't have to be great, just something that you could tow a boat with, the recycling place, I think it's free. I'll have to research, but the problem a lot of people have is how to get it to the recycle place. But if you had it in place already to do, you'd take it probably to somewhere, not necessarily here. If it was me, I'd take it out to anchor somewhere, attach it to a mooring buoy, like, you know, not too far, but somewhere, or you would bring it somewhere like here, and but in a part where you can't get on and off, because there's a bit of dock over there where you could put the boat on there, you just wouldn't be able to get on and off, and it wouldn't take you long to strip all the useful things off, and then you tow it to the recycling place, which actually is in Marseille, which is just over there. It's not far. So yeah, it's just a shame. And then you'd probably occasionally get the odd gem where you'd go, does it need to be scrapped? This is the thing, that the best way I can put it is, I gave a boat away that I'd paid 2,500 for, because it didn't really work out, and because I was offered something else. Had I never been offered the other thing, I'd never given the boat away, I'd have just persisted with it. But that's me, and you all know what my budget's like. So you can imagine somebody with a large budget might have got 10 grand in a boat, and they just want to get another one. It's kind of the same, do you know what I mean? It's, to me, it's like, how I see them sometimes think, how can someone just give that away? But I did it. Like, they do exist. There's lots of boats. When I was in Juan-les-Pins in the first year of doing this, there was a perfect boat abandoned on the dock, but it needs to be, the port can't do anything about it. You can go ask them, but they can't do anything. It does exist where they go to auctions, and we nearly got, before I got my previous boat, a Charison. I was the second, because I got someone to contact the mayor for me, and because the port told me that's what happened, and one person got there before me, and this boat was beautiful, but it had been abandoned in Saint-Maxime, not far away from Saint-Tropez. So if you had the right contacts, or you was cheaper than anyone else, and someone's looking, I need to get rid of my boat, what's the towing cost? And you'd probably judge it on the boat, and if it's absolutely not worth towing, you'd make a bit of money towing the boat to the recycling place. If you thought it was worth a bit of money, and you kind of wanted to, well, if worth enough for you to tow it for free, and they just signed the papers over to you, and you're then in the middle to take it to the towing company, the recycle place, there's value like in the middle. But I have been talking to a guy about it. We'll see if it goes anywhere. But yeah, that's what happens with abandoned boats. Probably gonna have to re-record this because I've walked around with a camera everywhere, but